Do you wonder why money slips away while others multiply it calmly? You feel busy chasing it every day, yet it escapes your hands. If you keep reacting the same way, your future will repeat itself. The first secret is simple. Money is not only numbers and work. Money follows attention, belief, and emotion, like iron follows a magnet. Those who stay broke treat money as an enemy or a prize. Those who grow rich treat money as a tool and a test. You were trained from childhood to feel anxious around money discussions. You were told to avoid it, to fear it, to worship it. This emotional fog is the first invisible chain on your earning power. When feelings become stronger than thinking, your decisions no longer belong to you. A Machiavellian mindset studies money the way a strategist studies a battlefield. It does not hate money, it does not worship money, it observes. It asks what people really value, what they secretly crave and silently chase. It understands that money moves towards silent power, not loud effort alone. Notice how often you spend just to feel accepted for a moment. Notice how you buy things only to escape boredom, stress, or quiet insecurity. Every purchase hides a sentence in your head. You rarely read it. The sentence often says, "Buy this and you will finally feel enough." People who stay broke obey this sentence without question every single day. People who get rich rewrite that sentence again and again with clarity. They still feel desire, but they watch it from above like a scientist. They ask whether this desire builds their strength or keeps them emotionally dependent. There is another layer you rarely see, the frame of every interaction. The frame decides who feels in control and who feels slightly needy. When you chase discounts, beg for exceptions, or accept unfair terms, you shrink. The other side reads your anxiety like a clear, open book without words. Machiavellian-style emotional intelligence means controlling this frame inside your own mind. You do it by slowing your inner reactions, especially when money appears. When an offer appears, you first watch your breathing, your pulse, your tension. You say to yourself silently, "I will think, I will not rush." This tiny pause is a weapon. It separates you from pure impulse. Most people cannot hold this pause for even a few heartbeats. Their minds scream, "What if I lose this chance forever? Take it now." They forget that real power rarely comes from desperate rushing. It comes from choice. When you practice the pause, you begin to see patterns in people. You see which words they use to hook you into fear or greed. You notice how time pressure appears again and again like a script. You see that many deals reward calm observers and punish emotional reactors. Another secret hides in how you see your own time and energy. Someone with a weak money mindset sells time cheaply to anyone asking. They say yes to every request, every demand, every distraction for approval. Inside, they hope that constant activity will magically turn into wealth someday. Someone with a strong money mindset protects time like a precious guarded vault. They understand that every yes steals attention from another possible strategic move. They watch which tasks truly create value, not only for today, for years. They slowly remove activities that drain them without building skills, relationships, or assets. This is where Machiavellian thinking becomes clean, not cruel or selfish. It simply says, emotion without direction is a leash others will happily hold. If you cannot say no with calm confidence, someone else spends your life. They choose how your hours are used, while you cling to small rewards. Look at how often you trade deep focus for quick, shallow relief. You open distracting things whenever work feels heavy, then complain about slow progress. This habit keeps you busy but empty, moving yet not advancing. Rich-minded people reverse this pattern. They accept short-term discomfort for long gain. They use discomfort as a signal, showing where growth is quietly waiting. They know that difficult tasks often hide future freedom, if completed with patience. They treat emotions like weather, important to notice but not to obey blindly. They ask which move increases long-term control, not which feeling wins today. The biggest trap is believing money is against you personally forever. This belief creates a permanent victim script, easy for others to exploit. Once you accept that script, you stop questioning unfair deals and weak pay. You accept crumbs with a smile, while others build empires from your effort. A Machiavellian emotional approach rejects this script and writes another in silence. It quietly states, money follows structure, leverage, information, and disciplined emotional control. It tells you that your current situation is a result, not a sentence. And every result can be changed when you change the inner instructions running you. The real question is not how much you work or hope. The real question is who secretly directs your financial reactions each ordinary day. If you look closely, you may realize a hidden pattern owns you. And until you identify that hidden voice, your bank balance will obey it. Do you notice how some people create wealth while barely speaking? You feel they know something you were never taught directly. If you want the same calm advantage, you must unlearn your old reactions. Money moves toward people who control their inner state before any action. Most people focus on strategies, methods, shortcuts, and constant hustle. They ignore the real engine of wealth, emotional stability under pressure. When the mind shakes, every decision becomes weak, late, or impulsive. There is a quiet rule you never learned clearly: attention shapes value. Whatever holds your attention controls your next move without force. If fear controls it, you play small and accept poor choices. If envy controls it, you chase things only to match others. The Machiavellian approach trains attention the way warriors train aim. You observe where your focus runs when money appears suddenly. You notice whether you think long-term or grab something for relief. You watch how quickly your mood swings when numbers change. Those who stay broke react emotionally before thinking rationally. Those who build wealth reverse this process with strict inner discipline. They let the first wave of emotion rise, then they let it pass. Only after that wave fades, they choose their next move calmly. Your emotions are not your enemies, they are signals. Signals only harm you when you obey them without examination. Desire can guide you toward opportunity, but also toward traps. Fear can protect you from danger, but also from growth. Machiavellian emotional intelligence means decoding these signals correctly. You ask, is this feeling helping me or pushing me blindly? You ask, who benefits from this reaction if I follow it? You ask, what unseen pressure shaped this feeling inside me? Another hidden pattern keeps people financially stuck: social comparison. You believe your progress is slow because others move faster. You judge your achievements through the lens of someone else's highlight. This invisible comparison steals your clarity without making a sound. People who break free from this trap learn a rare skill. They stop measuring their worth through the attention of others. They understand that envy is a tax on your focus, not theirs. Every second spent envying is a second lost building your own leverage. Wealth begins when you shift your identity from reactor to observer. As a reactor, you chase emotional sparks created by others. As an observer, you watch patterns quietly without losing control. You begin to see motives hidden inside simple conversations. You start noticing how people use emotional pressure to influence decisions. Words like urgent, limited, final, or rare create artificial tension. These words trigger ancient instincts inside your brain unconsciously. Your mind moves faster, but your judgment becomes slower. Machiavellian thinkers break this spell by creating mental distance instantly. They ask themselves one quiet question: what happens if I wait? This question weakens emotional traps that rely on urgency. It grants you time, clarity, and leverage without raising your voice. Another overlooked trap is emotional spending disguised as self-reward. You tell yourself you deserve indulgence after hard work or stress. You believe a small purchase cannot affect your long-term path. But repeated small decisions shape your financial direction permanently. Those who build wealth treat self-reward differently. They choose rewards that increase skill, knowledge, or long-term stability. They do not eliminate pleasure, they refine it intelligently. They know that real satisfaction comes from progress, not escape. Your inner frame around money decides whether you use it or lose it. If you treat money as proof of your worth, you chase validation forever. If you treat money as protection against fear, you stay anxious forever. If you treat money as a tool for structured freedom, you grow consistently. The richest mindset is neither greedy nor detached. It is simply strategic, aware, and emotionally balanced. It watches how each decision affects future power, not only present comfort. It chooses paths that widen options instead of closing them. This shift begins with one quiet realization inside you. Your mind currently runs on financial instincts programmed long ago. You follow rules you never questioned and beliefs you never inspected. And every unexamined belief becomes a silent barrier around your growth. You are closer to breaking that barrier than you think. You already feel the tension between old reactions and new awareness. You know your current habits will not carry you to long-term success. The question now is simple. Will you upgrade your internal system or repeat it? Do you ever feel your money decisions happen before you even think? You sense the choice forming inside you, yet you did not choose it. If you want real control, you must see who trained your instincts. Your relationship with money is shaped by repeated emotional patterns. You learn these patterns from culture, environment, and silent expectations. They taught you when to fear, when to spend, and when to stay silent. Now these patterns act automatically, guiding your reactions without permission. The Machiavellian approach begins by uncovering these inner scripts. You observe how your mind responds when you gain or lose money. You notice whether excitement pushes you to risk too much. You notice whether fear pushes you to avoid growth opportunities. Rich-minded individuals treat these emotional shifts like data. They never assume their first reaction is the correct one. They question each impulse with calm curiosity and sharp awareness. They ask what hidden belief created this intense feeling. One common hidden belief says, fast rewards prove success. This belief pushes you toward shortcuts and impulsive moves. It convinces you that patience is weakness and speed is power. Yet most wealth is built through steady long-term positioning. Another hidden belief says, money is difficult and rare. This belief creates fear, scarcity, and mental tightness daily. You become hesitant, doubtful, and slow in taking bold decisions. Others sense your inner weakness and offer you smaller opportunities. Machiavellian emotional intelligence replaces these beliefs quietly. It teaches you that money flows through structures, not accidents. It reminds you that patience increases leverage while panic reduces it. It shows you that calm people see opportunities others overlook. There is another layer beneath your financial mindset, identity. You behave according to the identity you hold silently. If you see yourself as someone always struggling, you repeat struggle. If you see yourself as someone growing, you make growing choices. Identity ties directly into emotional reactions around money. Someone who feels undeserving will sabotage good financial chances. Someone who feels insecure will overspend to hide the insecurity. Someone who feels inferior will accept wages far below their worth. To change identity, you change the instructions your mind obeys. You repeat calm internal commands that shape long-term behavior. You say to yourself, I choose clarity, not impulse or fear. You say, I allow myself to seek better value without guilt. These quiet internal commands rewrite emotional responses slowly. Your brain begins to form new associations around money. Anxiety reduces, clarity increases, and patience grows naturally. Decision-making becomes cleaner because the mind is no longer clouded. Another hidden mechanism keeps many people locked in financial stagnation. They fear silence more than they fear mistakes. They rush to fill quiet moments with action or spending. Yet silence is where strategic thinking appears and decisions sharpen. Machiavellian thinkers use silence as a tool for wealth building. They pause before major commitments to test their own emotions. They wait long enough to see which thoughts are real and which are panic. They allow discomfort to rise because discomfort reveals truth. The more you resist silence, the more you follow old patterns. The more you embrace silence, the more you design new patterns. In silence, you see what truly motivates you beneath excuses. You discover whether your goals are yours or borrowed from others. Another financial weakness hides in excessive attachment to stability. You cling to comfort because it feels safe and predictable. You avoid calculated risks because they create temporary uncertainty. This attachment prevents you from exploring higher value opportunities. Wealth-oriented minds understand stability very differently. They see stability not as comfort, but as controlled progress. They know real stability comes from skills, insight, and adaptability, not from avoiding discomfort or staying trapped in the familiar. When you shift your meaning of stability, you shift your possibilities. You begin to prefer choices that bring long-term capability. You become willing to step into mild discomfort for future gain. You stop giving your life away to fear disguised as caution. You see now that your financial journey is not only numbers. It is a psychological structure built from repeated emotional responses. It is a system designed by beliefs you never examined closely. And it quietly controls everything you do with money. The question you must ask is simple. If your old emotional system created your current results, what new system will create the results you truly want? Do you realize your financial limits often come from invisible emotional habits? You sense something blocks you, but you cannot name it clearly. If you want to rise, you must expose the system guiding your choices. Every person carries an inner script that defines what they allow financially. This script decides how much you save, how much you lose, and how much you expect. It sets a silent ceiling on your growth without needing a single word. Most people never see this script because it feels like their natural personality. A powerful mind studies this script the same way it studies strategy. It asks where these limits came from and who installed them. It questions which beliefs strengthen you and which beliefs weaken you. It identifies which emotions sabotage progress and which emotions support it. You cannot build wealth while obeying instructions written by fear. Fear tells you that new paths are dangerous and familiar paths are safe. Fear tells you that opportunity is risky and staying the same is wise. Fear tells you that wanting more is greedy even when you earned it. A Machiavellian emotional approach unmasks fear completely. It shows you that fear feels like protection, but often acts like a trap. It proves that fear grows strongest when your vision is unclear. It reminds you that fear loses power when exposed to calm logic. Your mind also holds another barrier, guilt around improvement. You fear outgrowing people who expect you to remain predictable. You fear becoming different from those who shaped your early identity. You fear that success will disconnect you from your old environment. Guilt becomes a silent chain around ambition without you noticing. It convinces you to shrink your potential to make others comfortable. It convinces you to avoid opportunities because someone may misunderstand. It convinces you to hide your progress to protect others from discomfort. Those who build wealth dissolve this guilt with inner clarity. They understand that growth does not harm others, stagnation does. They know that rising strengthens their ability to help long-term. They allow themselves to evolve without apologizing for it. Another hidden force shaping financial destiny is emotional endurance. Many people break at the first sign of discomfort or uncertainty. They abandon long-term plans because short-term feelings feel heavy. They trade progress for relief again and again without realizing the cost. Wealth-oriented minds treat emotional endurance like core strength. They stay calm through temporary pressure because the goal is stable. They do not let minor setbacks dictate major decisions. They remain steady because they trust their long-term positioning. This emotional steadiness creates a rare advantage over the world. While others panic, you stay centered. While others rush, you move with intention. While others react, you calculate without haste. The greatest shift happens when you stop asking, "Can I get rich?" You begin asking a far deeper question: what inner limits keep me broke? This question removes excuses and exposes your psychological architecture. It forces your mind to confront patterns you avoided for years. You see how often you seek validation over value. You see how fear of judgment keeps you financially small. You see how you chase comfort that secretly drains your strength. You see how old beliefs steer your choices like invisible ropes. And once you see these ropes, you cannot unsee them. They no longer feel natural, they feel artificial and outdated. Your mind begins to detach from them one by one. Your choices begin to shift without force or tension. You stop reacting emotionally to every financial moment. You stop panicking when challenges appear suddenly. You stop chasing quick rewards that cost long-term freedom. You stop accepting terms that weaken your future position. Instead, you start building a structure inside your thinking. This structure is based on patience, clarity, and emotional discipline. It guides you toward decisions that expand your options each year. It pushes you to learn skills that multiply value quietly. Your inner identity also transforms slowly but powerfully. You no longer see yourself as someone hoping for better outcomes. You see yourself as someone designing better outcomes deliberately. You stop waiting for permission and start controlling your path. Wealth begins to look less like luck and more like alignment. You understand that money follows psychological strength consistently. You realize that calm thinking multiplies opportunity silently. You see that your earlier struggles came from emotional reactions, not destiny. And then a final truth emerges inside you, simple but transformative. If your emotions can be trained, your financial future can be redesigned. If your mindset can shift, your trajectory can shift with it. If your internal script can change, your external life will follow. But a question remains like a quiet whisper inside your mind. A question that decides whether your change continues or collapses. A question that reveals your true relationship with power and money. When the next emotional trigger appears and demands a quick reaction, will you obey your old instinct again? Or will you choose the calm, strategic mind you are becoming?